This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 29th day of May in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Billionaire businessman and presidential hopeful Azruddin Mohamed was placed on a total of $500,000 bail today by the acting chief magistrate Faith McGusty after he was charged with fraudulent declaration and tax evasion, all in relation to the purchase of a luxury vehicle back in 2020. Mr. Mohamed, who remains sanctioned by the U.S. government over tax evasion and gold under-declaration claims, entered a not guilty plea to the criminal charges filed against him by the Guyana Revenue Authority. With his attorneys Damian De Silva and Darren Wade at his side, the businessman was granted bail in the sum of $250,000 on each of the two charges, a total of $500,000. His attorneys have declared that the court has no jurisdiction to entertain the case brought by the Guyana Revenue Authority. Attorney-at-law Darren Wade told the court that the charges ought to have been filed within 6 months of the alleged offenses, and the issue of limitation therefore arises, a position he maintained outside of the courtroom.
The charge stated that these offenses allegedly transpired in 2020, which is way beyond the 6 months period. These charges are barred in law. It is very clear a magistrate is a creature of statute, and these charges ought not to be instituted or not have been instituted. They are barred in law. That's my respectful opinion.
Back in the courtroom, attorney for the Guyana Revenue Authority, Jagdeo, argued that there is no limitation that would apply if the authority did not know that a transaction was fraudulent. The Customs Tax Act that provides for an enforcement period of 7 years, he said. Declaring that she would not comment on the matter at this time, the acting chief magistrate instructed both sides to make submissions on the issue raised by attorney Darren Wade. Wade had pleaded with the court to cancel the bail, but the acting chief magistrate said that Mr. Mohamed would not be prejudiced by paying the bail. According to the particulars of the offenses, on the 7th of December 2020, Azruddin Mohamed caused a false declaration to be made to the Guyana Revenue Authority, contrary to Section 217 of the Customs Act, Chapter 8201. It is alleged that he falsely declared incorrect value for the luxury vehicle he imported. Mohamed allegedly indicated that he purchased the vehicle for $75,300 instead of the market purchase price of $695,000. Additionally, he is accused of fraudulent evasion contrary to the Customs Act. According to the particulars of that offense, Mohamed evaded more than $383 million in taxes by making a false declaration of costs. In defense of his client, attorney Damian De Silva told the court that the charges are coming close to 5 years after the luxury vehicle was imported by his client. The Lamborghini car was imported in December of 2020. De Silva said it was not until March of this year that Mohamed received the correspondence from the Revenue Authority with allegations of tax evasion and insisting that the outstanding sum be paid within 14 days or that the vehicle will be seized. He argued that his client has already taken the matter before the High Court.
Now, again, this matters before the High Court. Mr. Mohamed is asking declarations in that matter that the actions of GRA are illegal. This has led us to these proceedings. Today, we were able to put forward arguments to have the matter dismissed as opposed to going to trial for the limitation period. Right? So we feel confident in our submissions. We will put those before the court, and the court will rule on the matter.
The GRA's attorney Jagdeo argued inside the court that the GRA conducted a reassessment of the luxury vehicle imported by Mohamed and found that the cost was deflated to reflect a lower value. He said it was based on a reassessment that is provided under the law that the tax authority wrote to Mohamed and instructed that he respond within 14 days. Jagdeo said instead of providing the GRA with the required documents to prove his case, the accused responded to the GRA's letter seeking additional information on its claims. Further, he argued that notwithstanding the case before the High Court, the criminal court takes precedence in any matter of dispute. The case will come up again on the 26th of June for arguments. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care Cash Grant and the Uniform and School Supplies Grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care Cash Grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies Grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the dates?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced, but this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Facing criminal charges of tax evasion and false declarations in relation to the importation of a luxury car, businessman and presidential hopeful Azruddin Mohamed has stated that it was President Irfan Ali who assisted and facilitated the importation of the luxury vehicle for him back in 2020. Speaking to reporters after posting bail on the criminal charges this morning, Mr. Mohamed recalled that just after the 2020 elections, he contacted the vice president on the importation of the vehicle. He said the vice president told him that he should let the president assist with the matter. According to Mohamed, he contacted the president and got the assistance he needed. He said he has the evidence to back up his claims.
Irfan Ali is nothing more than a dishonest and dishonorable person. I have proof where Irfan Ali facilitated and assisted with the clearance of the Lamborghini. I'm waiting for him to say that that is a lie. And trust me, anytime he comes out and says it's a lie, I'll show the whole country how dishonorable he is.
The businessman has been accused by the Guyana Revenue Authority of making a false declaration and undervaluing the cost of the Lamborghini car that he imported. He is facing criminal charges and is also fighting back at the GRA over its attempt to seize a number of the vehicles he imported over undervaluing and other claims.
Within before I bought this Lamborghini, I called Jagdeo and said I want to meet with you. He said come now to the convention center. That is in August, September. I told him I want to purchase a Lamborghini. He said go to Irfan and talk to Irfan. That is what he told me. I met with him at the convention center.
Questioned about whether the assistance allegedly offered by the president in the clearance of the vehicle was a thank you gift for the financial support given to his party, the PPP, in the last elections, Mohamed said he does not know, but he said he knows that the taxes were paid. He admitted to funding the PP Civic over the years and complained that he is now facing political persecution due to his interest in running for president. Meanwhile, his father, Nazar Mohamed, told reporters that the charges against his son are politically motivated.
Case of victimization. Because, I mean, these cars come in, this Lamborghini came in here almost 5 years now. Within the next few months, it would be due to us transfer if he wants to sell it. Nobody never came, nobody never said that revenue was cheated. But then suddenly...
The elder Mohamed is convinced that the charges against his son are being instituted by the state to force him out of the electoral race for the presidency. In the High Court matter, the Guyana Revenue Authority has provided a quotation that was reportedly dispatched to Azruddin Mohamed ahead of his purchase of the vehicle. The revenue collection body has also provided bank statements showing various transfers to the company that sold him the luxury vehicle. Mohamed was once a close ally of the governing party and its leaders. However, that relationship soured over the past few years, especially after the businessman, his father, their companies, and government permanent secretary May Thomas were all sanctioned by the U.S. government. Well, as political parties are gearing up to launch their elections campaign ahead of the September 1 elections, Vice President Jagdeo today described the upcoming elections as critical and warned citizens not to take the risk when they go out to cast their votes. At a press conference, Mr. Jagdeo promised a glorious future for all Guyanese and urged citizens to support his party.
These elections are not about taking risk or joking around. They're about the future of Guyana. And only a leader supported by a solid team that has demonstrated competency and achievement can lead this country into that glorious, prosperous future that awaits all Guyanese. And if you're an unbiased person in this country, you would see that there is only one political party that has that leadership that operates on the basis of achievement for the people of our country.
Both the Alliance for Change and the Partnership for National Unity have signaled their readiness for the elections. Earlier today, businessman Azruddin Mohamed, who recently announced that he will be seeking office, said he will be launching his party soon and promised to mount a serious campaign. But Mr. Jagdeo believes that the opposition is not ready and that the opposition is in a sad shape.
They claim they're ready for elections, and I wish them well in these elections. I'm glad that they are ready, as we are. But it is going to be a contest of ideas. It has to be a contest of ideas and about competency too. Because we can't take a risk.
The vice president also said more citizens are now behind his party's banner, and he is confident that his party will do well. He noted that the upcoming elections should be a contest of ideas and track records.
And so we will campaign on our record. And it is a phenomenal record of transformation in these years, in spite of the constraints that we've had, COVID and others. So we're ready.
According to the vice president, the Guyana government is confident in the Guyana Elections Commission's ability to conduct the upcoming elections freely and fairly. He said elections observers have already been invited, and he's hoping that good sense should prevail on the elections day and the days after. The Guyana Elections Commission today approved the work plan that was submitted by its chief election officer, catering for the September 1 election date. That was recently announced by the president. The commission met today and the issue of the work plan was addressed. Opposition-nominated Commissioner Vincent Alexander said the commission approved the work plan and will also be examining the issues that he has been raising with regards to various statutory obligations that have to be addressed ahead of the elections.
Yes, the plan has been approved. I am advised, subject to some determination in relation to the statutory timeline for appeal, which will be reviewed on Tuesday. The second thing that has occurred, they have agreed that they have not put aside the issues which I have been insisting on, and that these issues will be addressed on Tuesday.
Alexander noted that there remains a number of issues that have to be addressed by the Elections Commission as it gears up for the elections to ensure that the elections are free and fair.
My concern, Gordon, is not simply ready, because by ready GECOM means they can run the election without addressing the issues that I have tabled. And for me, unless those issues are tabled, unless those issues are resolved positively, GECOM will not be giving us the opportunity of a free, fair, and transparent election. So technically, it's a running election, but because of the flaws in the system, that cannot guarantee us a free, fair, and transparent election.
Earlier this week, the opposition-nominated commissioners at GECOM complained that they were blindsided by the president's announcement of that September 1 election date, since they were not consulted on it and the work plan that they had at the time catered for a date later in September. The chairman of the Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, has since indicated that she consulted with the chief election officer on the date and the timeline following a request from the president about the commission's readiness to host the elections.
GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by June 30, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all Guyanese who meet the eligibility criteria to apply for registration. By doing so, you would be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official list of electors for future elections, providing you meet all eligibility criteria. This registration exercise will end on May 30, 2025. You need to apply for a transfer if you now live at another address since you were registered. For more information, contact the GECOM on 2250-277-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
New York City, summer is about to get hot. Saturday, August 2nd, SR Hamilton LLC presents Gospel Infusion. Featuring Samuel Meadows, Psycho, Eddie Neblett, Sean Daniels out of Trinidad, Carlvin Burnett, Christelle Brandt, Sherilyn Maloney, DJ Kesta D, and many more at the South Jamaica Multi-Service Center, 11402 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Queens, New York. Gates open at 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Get your super early bird tickets for only $50. General admission $70. Pay more at the gate and limited VIP $100 all inclusive. Come and experience the outpouring of God's grace Saturday, August 2nd. For more information, visit Gospel Infusion on Facebook and Instagram.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Need small appliance for your kitchen? Giftland have it. Need fridge or stove? Giftland have it. Speakers or laptop? Giftland have it. I'm telling you, Giftland have everything. And don't get me started on TVs. 58 inch, 65 inch, 70 inch, 75 inch. All sizes in leading brands. Best thing about it, they give a warranty. Man, Giftland is the place for all your electronics purchases.
Washi. Hi people, washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Vice President Jagdeo today declared that his party is not worried about businessman Azruddin Mohamed entering the political race, telling reporters that Freedom House that the support Mohamed has been receiving is fake. He described the Mohammeds as a criminal cabal and said Guyanese must know their true nature before lending them their support. Mr. Mohamed told reporters today that he will soon launch his political party and unveil his candidates. He also noted that the sample was done among 80,000 Guyanese, and that shows that support is solid for him. But the vice president said the presidential hopeful is delusional.
They have some website and the people said they show him or the same fake profiles voting on the website all the time, and they showed he's leading. But that is done by people who are sympathetic to him, and obviously some may even be duping him to collect money from him.
The Mohammeds have long said that they felt targeted and persecuted by the current government, but the vice president said the Mohammeds are paying for their crimes and there is no persecution.
How is that persecution? This is a criminal act. A fake invoice is a criminal act by our laws, unless we must change the laws to suit the Mohammeds. And it started a long while back. It didn't start now that he announced. So they like to play the victim. The victim he's hoping would give him sympathy among people. And his announcement, I think, is calculating that if he announces, then the US may be a little bit more, they don't want to maybe come after a politician, etc. It's to save his own ass.
The PPP General Secretary said that PPP is not one bit scared about Mr. Mohamed entering the political scene. And he also said he would have no impact on the supporters of his party.
Do you see any evidence across this country that the PPP is afraid of the Mohammeds electorally? Where you see a mass exodus from the PPP to him? In which ways? It's the Ramayas or the others who are there. I don't even know. The one from Essequibo Coast or the Charles Sogrin who was with AFC. Where you see this mass exodus from the PPP, in fact, people are moving in droves to the PPP now. You think they would endorse a party that they believe would lose the elections and all of that? They have great confidence in where we're going.
Elections are set to take place on the 1st of September, as announced by the president. The former legal counsel of the Guyana Elections Commission, Kurt De Silva, has moved to the High Court to order the Elections Commission and the Chief Election Officer, Vishnu Prasad, to retract 2 press statements issued that reference him with falsehoods, which he believes are libelous. He's also asking for an apology. In the court document seen by News Source, Mr. De Silva said one of the releases was issued by the Elections Commission on the 9th of April this year, under the title Non-Renewal of the Employment Contract of GECOM's legal officer, while the other was published on the 20th of March by the Chief Election Officer. He wants an order for formal and official retractions by both GECOM and the CEO of the releases published in the same manner that were first published, and also for apologies to be issued by both the GECOM and the CEO. De Silva, in his submissions to the court, said he is an attorney with more than 7 years of experience, and prior to his appointment as the legal counsel for the Elections Commission, he served as judicial counsel for the Caribbean Court of Justice. De Silva said he had received glowing recommendations from a number of judges, including the president of the CCJ. He said both statements issued by the Elections Commission contained defamatory information, which suggested that his action in a case that was before the High Court was contrary to the instructions of the Commission and the Chief Election Officer. GECOM in one of the statements indicated that Mr. De Silva's pronouncements in the case could have led to confusion and misrepresentation regarding preparations for the upcoming elections. It was said too that the legal officer's pronouncement carried severe implications for the elections and created uncertainty among stakeholders, including voters, political parties, and international observers. The statement was published on GECOM's Facebook page, which has approximately 55,000 followers. De Silva said within hours the very statement was published on the Attorney General's Facebook page also. He said the statement implied that he acted outside of the authority given to him and disobeyed the orders of the Elections Commission and the CEO. Further, he said the statements give the impression that he acted outside of the scope of the legal proceedings and that the submissions had the potential to cause confusion and misrepresentation. He said as a result he has been severely defamed and has suffered considerable public criticism and ridicule. De Silva argued that his submissions in court were based entirely on and were consistent with an affidavit sworn by the Chief Election Officer. He noted that more than 2 weeks before the issuance of the press release, he circulated his written submissions to the chairman of GECOM, Kuala Singh, and all commissioners. According to him, none of them raised any objection or concern. He said in fact the chairman agreed with the substance of the submissions. He also said as such the allegations contained in the press statements are all false. Let's tell you now that the director of the Center for International and Border Studies, Dr. Mark Curtin, is of the opinion that an international military mission should be among key plans on the agenda for Guyana, amid the increasing acts of aggression and provocation from neighboring Venezuela. Diplomacy has always been Guyana's first line of defense to the threat to its sovereignty and territorial integrity. But Dr. Curtin, while embracing this approach, said even as the territorial controversy remains before the International Court for final adjudication, Guyana should have an international military mission on standby.
Is that we should have already had some kind of military mission, right? Hemispheric, a deterrence mission, because our capacity militarily is known. But I believe that we could have a broadened regional security system, the RSS, to include Trinidad and Jamaica, which have substantial military forces, along with a broadened hemispheric grouping the United States, Brazil, maybe some others, under the aegis of the United Nations.
In the past 5 months, there has been an incursion into Guyana's waters by a Venezuelan naval vessel and 4 attacks on Guyanese soldiers in the Cayenne River. Guyana has continued to make its case before the international court, even as the Venezuelan government continues to dismiss the court's jurisdiction. Dr. Curtin, while convinced that the ICJ will rule in Guyana's favor, said given the stance taken by Caracas, there may very well be an issue and compliance on the part of the Spanish-speaking country whenever the court hands down its decision. He said it is therefore important for Guyana to adopt a multifaceted approach in which there is sustained interaction with both the local community and the country's international and potential allies, including its multilateral partners on Guyana's position.
And I believe that one recommendation could be that they should have a corps of special envoys established, not necessarily only from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but from other places, that could go to capitals with a mandate to present the Guyana's position, not only on the short-term issue of elections and so on, by Venezuela in a territory that's never claimed, that never owned or occupied by them, but also in the positions down the road, where we have to ensure that whatever is the outcome, and I think the outcome will be in Guyana's favor, that the issue of compliance is understood.
Dr. Curtin also made a case for greater emphasis on education. He said facts on the controversy should be included in the school's curriculum, from nursery to university.
The issue of borders should be added to the curriculum in schools and in university. You know, in Venezuela, from nursery to university, there's that particular argument about the rightness of their claim to Guyana. I don't think we have consistently had that kind of educational process unfolding in Guyana.
He has also proposed that a unit comprising government and non-governmental organizations and key stakeholders be established to conduct day-to-day analysis on the controversy and influence policy decision. It was also suggested that Guyanese, including local investors, be given incentives to develop industries and other businesses within the border communities.
The Father's Day Cultural Extravaganza is here again. Yes, it's dedication to Daddy 6 under the theme Stand Tall, Daddy, featuring Romo Edmondson, Letitia De Silva, Keisha Sam, Neelan Benjamin, Sonia Yard, Barbara Lee, Simone Dowding, Colin Ambrose, Frederick Minty, Antoine Gonzalez, Creative Arts Dance Troupe, and others. On Sunday, the 15th of June from 8 p.m. at the National Cultural Center. Tickets $2,500. Treat Dad to an unforgettable evening of wine, song, dance, and drama with an opportunity to win a fabulous door prize. Directed by Sharon Cadogan Taylor. Dedication to Daddy 6. Stand tall, Daddy.
The Ministry of Education wishes to announce that the Because We Care cash grant and the Uniform and School Supplies grant will begin distribution from May 12, 2025. Please note, however, that distribution will begin later in May and in some cases June for certain regions. Therefore, we encourage all parents and guardians to consult the published distribution schedule to confirm when their grant will be available.
So, what's been given this year?
The grant has been increased to $55,000 per child. This includes $50,000 for the Because We Care cash grant and $5,000 for the Uniform and School Supplies grant.
Who qualifies for this grant?
All public and private school learners from nursery year 1 to grade 10 who are registered and attending school are eligible. In grade 11, only students who will register for CAPE grade 12 in September qualify, along with current grade 12 students who will be continuing to grade 13. For children entering nursery this year, they must have been registered by March 28, 2025.
How do I collect the grant?
The parent or assigned guardian of the child can uplift the grant at the child's school. Just make sure to bring a valid form of ID, your national ID card, passport, or driver's license.
What if I don't have any of those IDs?
No worries, your identity can be verified by a senior official in your community, such as the school's principal or village tusho.
Suppose I can't go myself to collect it. What then?
You can authorize someone else to collect the grant on your behalf.
What happens if I miss the date?
If you miss the scheduled date at your school, a later collection date will be announced. But this will only happen after the national distribution is completed, so it's best to collect it as scheduled if possible. Got more questions? Check the Ministry of Education's social media pages or contact your child's school for more information. In service to you, because we care.
Buster presenting the new 500 milliliter. Wow, Buster flavorful. Make every meal better. Grab a Buster for drink, Buster move. Taste this. 500 ml, that's it. Buster for days, that's cool. Buster 500 milliliter is a brand new choice so me drink with my food. Vibing every munch, that's smooth. Introducing the new Buster 500 milliliter. Grab a bottle with your lunch today.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. The Bahamas government has warned that the implementation of a 10% tariff by the United States on goods and services exported from the Caribbean Community CARICOM country could potentially influence both trade flows and visitor arrivals. The United States remains the Bahamas' principal trading partner, accounting for approximately 83.3% of its total imports in 2024, valued at an estimated $5 billion. The long-standing economic partnership is also reflected in the tourism sector, where in 2024, 84% of the stopover visitors originated from the United States. Prime Minister Philip Davis said as he presented the U.S. $3.89 billion budget to Parliament. In April, U.S. President Donald Trump announced far-reaching new tariffs on nearly all U.S. trading partners in a move economists and other traders say is designed to dismantle much of the global economy and trigger broader trade wars. In the case of the Caribbean, Trump announced a 10% tariff on most regional countries, while in the case of Guyana, the tariff is as high as 38%. Prime Minister Davis told legislators that while the close relationship NASA shares with Washington has yielded considerable benefits, it also underscores the Caribbean country's exposure to developments in the U.S. economy. The High Court in Trinidad and Tobago has ordered that the state immediately return 9 high-end vehicles to penal businessmen that were seized by Customs and Excise in 2020, and which Customs continue to detain without any justifiable reasons. In addition to having the vehicles returned, a High Court master will also have to determine at a later date the amount of damages that is to be awarded to the businessman Kesundan. Further to that, after delivering summary judgment in Kesundan's favor, Justice Nadia Kangalu directed that the state must also bear his legal costs. In total, 17 vehicles were seized, but 8 of them were eventually returned. The other 9 remained in the possession of customs. The judge noted that even though the initial seizure, which included Jaguars, Prados, BMWs, Range Rovers, and Mercedes-Benz, may have been lawful, the continued detention without any charge being brought against Kesundan or forfeiture proceedings being filed violated his constitutional rights to enjoyment of property. She pointed out that the authorities could not lawfully detain private property for an indefinite period without pursuing legal proceedings. And that was what was done in this case, said the judge. And finally tonight, international news. A federal appeals court on Thursday reinstated the most sweeping of President Donald Trump's tariffs. A day after a trade court ruled Trump had exceeded his authority in imposing the duties and had ordered an immediate block on them. An order from the United States Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in Washington provided no opinion or reasoning, but directed the plaintiffs in the case to respond by June 5 and the administration by June 9. Wednesday's surprise ruling by the U.S. Court of International Trade had threatened to kill or at least delay the imposition of Trump's Liberation Day tariffs on most U.S. trading partners, as well as import levies on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China. Senior Trump administration officials had said they were not discouraged by the trade court's ruling, saying they expected either to prevail on appeal or employ other presidential powers to ensure they go into effect. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.